It's a pleasure having you guys here. Briefly, I would like to appreciate everyone. We have a culture, of course, where people confirm. We confirmed over 80 people to be here today. They all confirmed, isn't it? But you see how members, others, apologies. They didn't even send apologies. They decided not to show up. But if I'm to give you the history of this club, briefly, this club, we have members. We have different members, isn't it? And you'll be surprised that there are so many members who would like to remain mute, who would like to remain private. And you should know this as club members. And for your information, this club is 75%, if not 80, ladies. Isn't it? It's a ladies' club. More or less, we are giving you the reality, isn't it? Ladies. 85%, they are ladies, isn't it? My role was, how? We don't know. I can't say. We are few men in this club. So anything that you see for the success of the club, ladies, you have the upper hand, isn't it? You have the upper hand. You either collapse it or make it successful, isn't it? Yes. So as we go on for all this, prepare yourself to take up the leadership positions. At some point we may say, for us we are stepping back. If we step back, please take up the leadership, isn't it? Because you've seen in our club, we have people who are serious, isn't it? We have professionals in the club. Did you notice that? Why we made people introduce themselves is that we wanted you to know that we have the capacity. If we make an audit report, if an accountant's report or treasurer's report comes out, you've heard we have CPA people, certified public accountants. So if a report comes out and there is an issue, we have accountants on board, isn't it? Those who are going to say, but there is a what? There's a problem here. So that's the beauty about it, isn't it? So here we are just trying to do our best. In COVID, we started in COVID. Me, I am very proud and happy that even the first year, there are very few clubs that would have an audit report. In the first year, most of the clubs are disorganized, isn't it? That even if you take up leadership, there's nowhere you're starting from. But for us, everything is systematic. Even by today, our audit report is ready. A company or an organization will always be smart as long as the accounts are what? Smart. My role as the head is to make sure that members' savings are secure. And I want to tell you the truth, guys. Your savings are secure. We've had some challenges. As you know, we are pre-COVID. In COVID, performance was good for so many people. But do you know that we are making it worse after COVID? So, we are having challenges of members. Because of inflation, you've seen. Most people have not received salaries. Do you know the reason? Because paying salaries is going to worsen the inflation. That's why many people have not received salaries. It's projected at that. So, our role is to make sure members' savings are protected. We made our constitution clear. We're going to have some resolutions. We're going to change some things in the constitution. Okay? And as I said, let this club be a dynamic club. Dynamism means, if you find something is not working on my Mulembe, and on your member it is working and helping the club, changing that constitution is because it is yours, isn't it? This is not to be a stringent constitution that is going to make you suffer. You remember when we were doing this constitution, we tackled two things, especially on the exit. That's why you see in our groups, on WhatsApp groups, there is no noise. Nobody is quarreling, isn't it? But we have members who have decided to go. Reason, they have saved for 4 months, they saved for 8 months, they have challenges, all that. And we can't hold on to a member. I would consider a serious member after 4 or 5 years. But anybody who wants to break off, I am very open. I tell people, write to us and get out. Instead of hanging on to the club and yet you will not sustain it. So, that's why you've seen there is no flexing. We cannot put up stringent measures to hold on to members. It's the reason why you see we don't have fines. You're asking yourself, why aren't you finding people? Why should I fine a mature person? If you know you entered this club to pay, and you can't pay, for us we shall find our level. By 4th year, we shall know that these are the serious what? Members. So we don't want stress, we are stress-free. If you want us to call you and remind you never paid the other month, we are sorry. We are not going to make a club like that. It's how we want to sustain ourselves perfectly. So you'll excuse us because we're all mature, we are all busy. If you can't pay up, nobody's going to chase you. Introduction of fines, even if members agree today that let's put fines, please, we cannot put fines. This is something we started organically and genuinely. If you want it successful, be part of it. I have had challenges. Members were asking, can I draw from my savings? Can I borrow? I tell members we cannot lend out. And we shall not lend out until time comes, isn't it? Until time comes, we come again, we agree, we say, can we subject 100 million or 200 million in lending? And if you have to take that decision, we have to have a system on board, isn't it? For the internal borrowing. So that we see, members, you should not lack money because we have had savings, isn't it? So we don't want to go into those risks now because we want to protect your funds. Then later, if members agree, we can say, yes, we have 50 million at a disposal. That members don't suffer fees, don't suffer challenges, we have money here. So, I would like members to be patient. If you're patient, things will unfold. Others will say, can we buy land? Land is going to be expensive next year. Land is always expensive. If today they give you a plot of 3 million and you don't have it, still it's expensive for you. So all that we're going to do. We had a meeting with the National Housing to see whether we can be partners with the National Housing. Because we thought going private sometimes can get issues. Maybe get a private developer who can start with us. That would be a big problem. So we're looking at National Housing. National Housing accepts there's a satellite city coming up. Their AGM has not taken place for them to take a decision. Once they say, yes, we are good to go, we shall sit down and negotiate with a big player and say, yes, can we take up our project? And if this project cannot be afforded by members, we shall come back to you and say, guys, can we increase our savings? So that our project is already done. But at the moment, we are still protecting members' savings. We are in the bond. Our investment is going to show you. We are at UAP. We wanted to have another bond, but because the bond was expensive, we don't go for it. We didn't go for it. So we are still holding. When you see another bond, we put there. A bond is the most secure investment, guys. The most secure investment. Today, I will buy land, and after 10 years, they will tell you bought fake land, isn't it? So let's first secure our monies that if we decide to go for high risk, we are still secure. Even if we go for something and fails, members know, but we cannot lose our money, even if what we invested in failed, isn't it? It's where most members have challenges. But once we are protected in our bonds, then the rest of the money, we can go high risk. If we are to go into lending, should have put up a system. Maybe we can also create an office. A small office where we're going to employ some 2-3 people, isn't it? Then those 2-3 people, we can be able to know that now we have our permanent office. Anybody can walk in and we do our thing. We can transfer into a bank. We can transfer into a big circle. So let's first have the resources there. Good enough your resources are protected. I am a principal signatory. Ronald Sebunya is a principal signatory. We have about 4, 5, 6 signatories on the account. So you will never mess. You will never find any challenge with your money. But I would request members, please be patient. Let us save. What matters is cash. When you have cash, things become better. We've taken a lot of time setting up, so I would like maybe not to say a lot of things. But briefly, that's where we are. Members who are exiting, yes. Today we are going to take another decision. All members who are below a certain amount of money, you'll allow us to let them go. Isn't it? We can't hold on to people who are not paying. Because they are going to become a liability later, isn't it? So let us accept, even if we slip down from 350, 400, and we're 200 members. To me it is better. And the AGM, many people are avoiding AGM. AGM is a meet and greet. To know who we are. To have connections, guys. The other day, I did not know that the human resource manager of Wildlife is part of us. I had a challenge when I was entering Action Force, when we were going for our CSR as Bravo Shoes Community Support. That big challenge, I happened to know her yesterday. I know her Rita to see her. She says, where do you work? She says, I'm the human resource. I'm the one who deployed those boys that disturbed. If I had her connection, I would call her and say, please, this is it. So it's about connection and know what kind of members we have so that we don't have a challenge. I would not want to forget one thing, guys. The diaspora, I am a marketer. I am playing hard that we can be able to apply for visas to the US. We are going to request members who would be able to organize the documentation. We apply for visa. We try to apply for visa. We want to go and market our club at UNA. Because this club, I want us to tap in the diaspora. A lot of diaspora members want to connect with us. They want to connect back home. But they want a club that can be able to join with them. If we can go to UNA, we can pay for a table, we display, we talk to the guys in the diaspora. They just want a trusted club. If we can go to US next year, we can be able to market our club. I will not give up on this club. If we can market ourselves in the US, why not? And again, if you have members, join up with other members. Let each member bring one person or two. Because if one person cannot trust you to come on board with you, then there is a problem. Let one friend of yours close, be part of a member. We shall grow faster. Just another thing. My apologies. We had our secretary that I had taken off as our secretary. And I believe today, members out there who can become a secretary to this club, but under voluntary, because we don't pay out money. If you're a good volunteer and become an assistant secretary. Our secretary is Rebecca Dora. She's in the States. And I'm also would like to tell you members, it is sad that people in the United States are able to commit to the club, handle meetings, but Ugandans, you don't join. It is very sad. The diaspora, they are performing very well. So Dora Rebecca is our secretary in the US, but we want somebody who is an assistant here, in case because of the time schedules, somebody can be able to come in. Our secretary, who had taken up the role of being secretary, very committed, is anxious. Sylvia could not make it, yes. Yeah, our legal secretary is anxious. Unfortunately, or fortunately, she will not continue being a secretary because, and I will tell you that amidst us, we have a judicial officer and she's a magistrate. She is there, as you see her. She is a magistrate. She was appointed among the new appointees as a magistrate. So let's use the connections that we have. Okay? She had come on board. She says, I'm going to handle, but because of her office, she may not have the time. But I'm happy that amongst us all, these are people who are working in serious employment, guys. So let's not undermine ourselves. We have great connections. And if we use the connections right, we are going to be successful, guys, isn't it? Thank you so much.
Clara?
Thank you, our ED. We can never thank you enough for stewarding our club very well. And we know we are all work in progress. Whatever is not happening well, like he addressed, please, you are welcome on board to send in feedback to them other than grumbling in the background. And we know with Stress-Free Investment Club, the sky is only, not even the limit. We are still moving heights and heights. The Bible says, I'm a Christian, the Bible says in the proverb that without a vision, people do what? Perish. And I believe as Stress-Free Investment Club, we have a vision. So just to remind ourselves, I'm going to request the live people to broadcast our vision so that the online community can also have a look. As we are also the people physically here, we can recite our vision such that we understand why stress-free investment club exists. Can you read here? Are you able? Can I get a volunteer to come and help us read it loud? Mr. Sebunya. Yes. We must understand the vision of the club. We must understand the club and the mandate so that we buy into it and feel we are part of it. When you buy into the vision, you will not have challenges of attending, participating in the activities. So can we recite the vision?
Thank you, Emma. This should not take a lot of time because we've been through this. I can cite it even when I'm not reading it, but for purposes of people who are online, the vision is to financially empower ourselves through savings and eventually venturing into investment opportunities. That's where my arm is, to purchase a condominium for each member of the club to own an apartment that is decent housing, not just cubicles like Brian says, by the year 2025. So we shall be going through that and see how we shall get there. The mission is simple and clear. We are dedicated to be transparent, accountable, committed, while still guaranteeing the value for our savings. Our values are three, and that is honesty, resilience, and teamwork.
Thank you, our head of investments. We also have a mandate as a club, and our mandate is provision of savings and investment platform to members based on investment club bylaws. So if our leaders who are in position are doing anything that is divergent from what our mission, our vision is saying, then we have a right to challenge. But I pray that every member of the club should familiarize themselves with the mandate, with the vision, the mission, and also the core values of the club. Honesty, we have to be honesty in all that we are doing, and we have to be resilient. Patience pains, but we know that it pays. We are not going to build condominiums just today. It will take us a step. It will take us time to gather enough savings such that we are able to invest. Then we request teamwork. That is why our ED is requesting someone who can, if you can and you have skills, good skills in being a secretary, come on board and volunteer. Just like our members in the diaspora, how they are offering themselves much as they are not physically here. So if you have a talent, come on and be part of the group so that we can advance this vision and mission of our club forward. So I thought it was very wise for us to remind ourselves some of these things, not just to be there and then ask you why did you join stress-free, and you don't even know why stress-free existed. Many clubs have collapsed. I joined some clubs which did not even celebrate the second birthday or even the first birthday. But we are lucky that we have a vision, and clearly the ED in his remarks made it clear as to why we are saving and projecting the future where we want to be. So at this point, can we have the previous minutes? Can we have the secretary take us through the previous minutes, or any other person that is ready? I would just request you to write down your questions, then at the end we shall have a Q&A. so that we can go through the program first. From the ED's remarks, then to the previous seminars, and some people online through the chats, we take note of some of your questions. We listing them down, so we'll have a time to really give feedback.
Now, could you please take us through the next program? Thank you.
Thank you, our Secretary and Linda, for the presentation. The next on the agenda are reports. And the first report is from the Treasurer's report. Let's go through this first, the Treasurer's report. Then the auditor should also be preparing. As I told you, members, today, you kindly write down your questions. Then there will be a session for answer at the end. From the ED's reactions, and then the previous minutes, and then the other reports that are coming in. The Treasurer, we're waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm here. So can I start?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I can start. Okay. Good afternoon to our beloved members. Like I introduced myself at the start, I'm Ronald. I'm here to run through our Treasurer's report for 2021-2022. And I can see from the agenda I was allocated 10 minutes, and because we had the shortcomings when we were beginning with the IT infrastructure, I think I'll make it so quick. So the first table, that's 1.1. It shows the analysis of our performance, and basically this is to do with how money has been coming in terms of in-video contribution by members. I'm here to let members know that up to from inception up to date, each of our members should have contributed 2 million shillings, Uganda shillings, and from looking at the figures in the table, it's only 5%, unfortunately, that have done the 2 million, which is way below the expectations. At least maybe we would have expected like 75%, but it's only 5% that have done the 2 million, which is supposed to be done from the time we began up to now. And that makes up 19 members out of the 396. I think this is something all of us need to think about. We understand we had COVID and there were so many issues going on, and it's been a long spell when people's incomes and monies have been destabilized. But I think we can try to come forth and all of us make up the 2 million so that we can reduce that gap. At least on my side, as the treasurer, I would expect like maybe 95% to be making the 2 million. But unfortunately, it's only 5%. That is something for all of us to think about. We have 173 members. These have saved in between 1 million, but below 2 million, and those make up 44. So I would ask all members to pull up so that we get into the first tier, that is getting done with the 2 million. Then we have 90 members. These have saved below 500,000, and they make up 23. We have 52 members. We have 52 members. The 90 members have saved above 500,000, and they make up 23. The 52 members have saved below 500,000, and they make up 13%. And the 61 members have saved below 240 and they make up 15%. Unfortunately, the 61 members are not doing so well. They are not doing so well. They are not trying. That's what I have to say from a management perspective. Maybe a decision will have to be taken in terms of communicating to them or letting them go, but they are not doing so much. Really, after 2 years, you've only, out of the 2 million, you've only done 240. That is so bad. But of course, we understand COVID has been here. Right now, it's behind us. So I pray that for the rest of the other tiers, everyone will be trying to pull into the first tier, which is the 2 million, so that we can move on the same pace. So with this kind of information on the table, I would largely encourage members to come forth, because once they don't do this of course affects our revenues, and it affects our savings, and it affects our investments that are held with BOU, that are held with UAP, the Unit Trust, because we need all this money to be put there. And in the future, if people want to have dividends, it would make sense that they had all their revenues well in time, and they've been generating money just in case. So the next chart basically tries to summarize the data that I've tried to, it's the visual representation of the data that I've been taking us through in the table above. It's basically the graph. We can see that the 100 people who have saved below 2 million but above 1 million are making up 193, and it's the highest graph, followed by the 90 members, the 52 members, and the 61. And we only have the 19 that have done 2 million. 19 is such a small figure. It is something for all of us to think about while we shall be leaving the venue. Of course, for all of us to bring in the money. Then that's the second table, which is down, if it can be displayed. If someone can help me display the second table. Of course, this is to do with our investments. We are all aware that once the money is collected, it's held into a unit trust with a UAP, which is an insurance company. When that money is held in there, we receive interest. When we receive interest, so the first account holds the principal, then the second account, which is in gray, holds the interest. The interest is separated from the principal. So the reason as to why the gray graph is shorter than the orange one is the principal, the gray one is the interest. That's why it is short. Then we also have the treasury bond for the 2 years. It is also generating interest for us, as you can see. Can we go to page 3? Over the last 2 years, we have gone through a number of cycles. Our members have been increasing and reducing as well. It's unfortunate to report that we've had an exit of 33 members, and I think from what I can largely tell the audience is that the 33 members that have existed have had personal challenges, and maybe some of them have been attributed to COVID. They couldn't continue with us. They had financial challenges, which we all know, so they had to exit the club. So our figures had to reduce from 406 to 396 members. At the same time, we had introduced a boost of 200,000. Just like the previous speakers highlighted, we need to come forth in terms of bringing on that money, which is meant to boost our savings and investments. I understand some of us have paid, some of us have not paid. it would be good if those that have not paid up can come forth and bring that 200, which began in the year 2021-2022. We increased our saving fees from 60,000 to 90,000. That has been good. That has helped to increase our savings. So when you look at this table, we have at the start of the year, we had 406 members at the start of the year. Then we had 24 new members to make up a total of 30. The 61 accounts that I've talked about of members are saving below 240 are here. The accounts have been disabled. We are waiting for members to come forth and let us know the way forward, and maybe over the course of the next few days, months, management is supposed to take a decision, because members are not forthcoming in terms of savings, and we don't know what's happening to them. They are not communicating. The 33 have already exited the club. As I've highlighted, it could have been due to COVID, it could have been due to personal financial challenges, which most of us go through. Then we had 2 accounts that did merge. So apparently we are 334, which is not so much of a bad number, but our emphasis still goes out to all our members to come forth in terms of all their savings and all the other fees, because it's what the club is here for. So we can go to page 4. If you can scroll it down so that we can see all the figures. Okay. So with the page 4, basically here we are looking at all the savings that have been done to date. That's 406,842,550. I think we should all clap for ourselves, because that's pretty a good figure for the 2 years, considering that we had COVID along the way. To me, that's also good. We should encourage ourselves. Then when you look at that table, we've had advance payments for people who paid up front. That is the 3 million you can see over there, and 65,000. Then we have, let me take this opportunity to call up the members that did deposit the 1.6. And up to now, they've not come forth to clarify on that amount. So it's held somewhere like on a suspense account, and we are unable to locate it, and we've tried anything else. So if people are here, or they know someone who did deposit money, more so with mobile money or any other arrangement, but their money is not reflective, they can come forth and they speak to management or the accountant to be able to allocate those funds. Because accounting-wise, we shouldn't be having a suspense account, at least as far as I'm concerned. But it seems like at the moment that money is supposed to be on a suspense account. It is not financially prudent to have monies on a suspense account. So we can see the members that are, the 61 members whose accounts have been disabled, they have an impact of 9,149,000. At least maybe if we wake up to both them, to let them go, I think that's what we're supposed to be paying out around that much, because we don't know what's happening to them. If you know anyone who is not active, is with us but is not active, you can let them come forth. You can remind them. I know they know, but still you can remind them. We can move down still on our report, and we go to the investment portfolio. I'd be glad if you could display the table. This is a brief of This is a brief of our investment portfolio. I think I'm made to understand the head of investment maybe will be doing this in detail. But just to let you know, our funds are held in the treasury bonds with the Bank of Uganda, which is the central bank, the most secure funds for all our funds. Even if the country collapses, the money will be there. The other ones are held in UAP. Just like I told you in the first presentations right up there, we're having the UAP Unity Trust Fund. One of the accounts is holding the principal and the other account is holding the interest, and the table below can summarize all that. Account 1, which is 236,810,418 with UAP 2021, that's the principal. Then the 25,615,419, that's the interest from account 1. We have them on separate accounts for easy accounting. Then our treasury bond is standing at 191,872,000. All in total, all those funds in total make up 454,297,837. So from the first year from the first year to the second year, those funds have gone up to 102%. There's been an increase of 200 million. I think that's good. The team is doing a great job in ensuring that our funds are growing and they are secure. I think while we pursue whatever we are pursuing, let's have two core functions from a management, from an investment and accounting standpoint. We have a diverse group of people are working in difficulties to bring their money forward. So the step management can take is what the CEO has highlighted, is to ensure that members' savings are secure. And I think I can guarantee this. No one is trying to gamble with members' savings. The savings are there, the interest is there, they are held in bodies that are very okay. Bank of Uganda is okay. In any country, the central bank is the safest place for your money. The returns could be low, but it's the safest.
Ron, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Brian.
Just clarify a bit that that was the year 2021. Is it? At the end?
Yeah.
At the amount, there was a mistake when we were designing. You know, these reports, guys, were designed, okay? After finishing them, we sent them out there for designing because we wanted some good work. So there was an error somewhere here just to put the year so that members can be able to follow it properly. We're going to correct it.
Yeah, so the first year was 2021.
Yes, thank you.
Then the second one is 2021, 2022. Those are the 2 years running. Now we're going into the third year. The percentage down has been the increase from the first year to the second year. As you can see at the start, we had a 224 million plus, and right now we have 454 million. For you to move from 200 to 400 million, that's 100%, of course, plus the 2. So if our monies have grown by 100%, that's very, very good. I think we should clap for ourselves and we should clap for management. And the money is there. That's what we have to re-emphasize. The money is there. The money is there. That's what I'm here to say. It's there. It's nowhere, but it's there in those institutions. So members shouldn't have sleepless nights about their funds. Their funds are there. So our club incomes are coming from that. Can we move down? Can we move down? Still on that same page so that members can look at the source of our incomes and they pretty much understand why we're telling them to bring forth their savings. So our incomes are derived from membership fee, the annual subscription, the 10% charge on club exit. I think that the first two are okay, the membership fee. the annual subscription. The 10% is a fee levied on members exiting, because I think the reason as to why we're leaving the 10% is because the time we've had your money for 2 years, we really kept it safe. We didn't lose it. And there've been charges like the bank charges. And if you had stayed for 5 years, probably you would share into the returns of those monies. But if you decide to exit well in time, then there's that small fee to cater for all these other things that have been going on. So just for members to know. Then still from our incomes are made of those four sources. The last one is the interest from investment. Of course, by interest from investment, we are talking about the money being held with the insurance company UAP. If they give us interest, which we keep in a separate account, then we also have the bond interest on our bond coming from Bank of Uganda. And at the same time, I can also see some small interest of 2,200 from DFCU Bank. Maybe they get ashamed for holding our money and they don't give us nothing, so they decide to give us that. So that table summarizes how our incomes come in. Of course, just to let members know, for those who are not in the accounting and finance side, incomes are different from savings. Incomes are different from savings. The 51 million is different from savings. Just to let members know, I think that could be a little bit confusing. These are not savings. These are incomes on our savings, what we receive if we invest that money somewhere. So we can go on the last page. I think my 10 minutes are running out. So that the last page is basically summarizing the club expenses. For the first year, it was 2020-2021. It was 10,959,690. We've had a jump in the second year, which is 2021-2022. I think I need to make it clear. Let me pull out the audited accounts and I try to run through those figures just so that people don't stay with the block figures. So that I would want people to understand what is constituted in a 15 million. Yes. So with me, I have the audited accounts with me here, but just to run through those figures so that you know how the 10 and 15 million come about. We have auditors we have to pay, the auditors that do audit these books. We have legal fees. We have bank charges for the accounts. We have the cost of running our website. We have printing and stationery. We have publicity. We have the AGM expenses for the 2 AGMs, this and the previous one. And we also had consultancy fees for the business plan and the bill of quantity that was worked on. So that's how the 15 million comes about, just in case people want to know what is the 15 million about. I know in most cases people are concerned with the expenses. And it's a good thing that we spend some time there for people to know what is in there. We have our accountant is being paid something small, and we also have our IT person who does the website is also being paid something small, and our PR manager.
Thank you so much. Everything is clear to us. Thank you so much for stewarding our resources, and we have trust in you. We know that you are good stewards. Let us go to the audit report to confirm what you are talking about and get the opinion from them.
Thank you so much. In especial, I would like to appreciate Ron Serwanja. Being in Washington and you're able to wait for this, it shows a lot of commitment. Guys, it shows a lot of commitment and a love for Uganda. You know, he wouldn't mind if Uganda never go. But he says, I'm going to be a treasurer. And he's a CPA, he's a certified public accountant. So whatever he presents is a professional. If there is a mini mistake, he would be able to advise us. He would be able to query and say, what's wrong here? Where do we do? What do we do? In all those things. Okay? So I feel very happy. But most of all, I will accuse Ugandans to be a noble day. Don't just be there and think someone, if the diaspora can take time to be there, but Ugandans here do not want. The Ugandans do not want. Okay? Let's try to step up, guys. We may not be accountants, all of us. We may not understand certain things. If you feel there's something you want to know, feel free to say, what are payables? What are receivables? What is this, isn't it? So that we can understand it clearer in the layman's understanding. Don't just say figures are there. We need to also learn, because this is a learning process. That next time you're somewhere and they're giving you an audit report, you're able to ascertain, okay? There are those members, somebody has asked me there, that 19 of those who have made it 2 million. There are those who have saved 1.8, 1.7. Even if you are remaining with 1 shilling, you're considered below 2 million shillings, isn't it? So those numbers shouldn't worry you. It's the reason why we say, from today we're going to decide, whoever is below a certain amount of money, we agree, we'll let them go, isn't it? We agree, we let them go, because we don't want liabilities later. And also, be patient. Thank you.
Our guest of honor, the ED and your committee, members present here, and those online, good afternoon and good morning, wherever you are. My name's CPA Agaba Hannington, representing Khan Associates, who are your auditors. Auditors of the members, not of the management, but you members, we are your auditors to review what management want to present to you. We thank you for having entrusted us the second time, because we audited the first year, and you entrusted us again to do the audit for this second year. We don't take that one for granted. We thank you, and we indeed will dispense our profession, judgment, and qualification to your expectations and service. So I'm here to read the audit report. It is a 3-page report. It is a big report, but within our report is a 3-page report. I may not read all that, but I will read the opinion, which is on page number 4. It's there. Paragraph number 1 is opinion. Before I read the opinion, the report is independent auditor's report to the members of Stress-Free Investment Club for the year ended 30th June 2022. Opinion. We have audited the financial statements of Stress-Free Investment Club, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 30th June 2022, and the statement of income and expenditure, statement of changes in accumulated funds, and statement of cash flows for the period then ended, and the notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of Stress-Free Investment Club as at 30th June 2022, and of its performance and cash flows for the period then ended, and are in accordance with international financial reporting standards for small and medium-sized entities. The Uganda Companies Act 2012, and the Tier 4 Microfinance and Money Lenders Act 2016, where our regulator is. Where we fall as an investment club, we fall under that act that controls us as a self-help group that came together to invest for a purpose. Paragraph number 2, basis for our opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing and guidelines issued by the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the investment club in accordance with International Ethics Standards Board of Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, together with ethics requirements, ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of financial statements in Uganda. And we have fulfilled our ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the IESBA code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient, appropriate to provide the basis of our opinion, which I have already given you above. So we can go to page 6. Down there, down, up there. So in between there are other information that we provide, which indicates what we do, how we carried out our audit, and also the responsibility of the management that you entrusted to handle your investment club. Those ones you will read on your own. So I will read this last paragraph, which is a report on other legal and regulatory requirements. So, as required by the Companies Act 2012, we report to you based on our audit that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. Number 2, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the club so far as appears from our examination of those books. And number 3, the club's statement of financial position and statement of income and expenditure are in agreement with the books of account. And as it is a requirement by our Institute of Certified Accountants that controls us, we are required to highlight the person who signed on behalf of Khan Associates as a pattern on the job that we did as a team at Khan Associates. So the engagement practitioner on the audit resulting in this independent auditor's report is CPA Hannington Agaba. That is my registration number at the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, which is practicing number 0489. That is a sign there. And also to be included in this report, which is in the hard copy that we have, which is, they are alluded to what is supposed to be captured, maybe which was left out, is the details of the location of our farm, which is in Kampala, Uganda, Khan Associates, the signature of the auditor, which is there, Agaba Hannington signed, and the date, which was on 24th of August 2022. That's when we appended our signature on this report. And also the details of the practitioners of their farm, which is CPA Hannington Agaba, with the qualifications, which is CPA Uganda, SCCA, BBA, Makerere, Advanced Accounting and Business Diploma, and the farm details, which is farm number AF0336, is licensed and regulated by the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda. That information will need to be included on that report for it to be authentic, certifying that a firm that held this audit is indeed a registered firm and certified firm, which indeed we are. I thank you so much.
Thank you, CPA Haningagaba, for the work done and for confirming to us, the members, I speak as a member, that our monies are indeed safe. At this moment, before we move further, I would love to get some proposals and then seconding to adopt the reports, the two reports, one the treasurer's report and the auditor's. We didn't want to adopt the treasurer's report before the auditors to confirm what actually, what Mr. Seraja Ronald was reading was actually the truth. So the auditor has confirmed, and if you are in agreement, let me see some people to raise their hands in seconding and proposing and then seconding the reports or receiving the reports. Can we have someone online? You mention your name and then you propose to receive the report, and then we can have someone to second. Or do you have something to ask? Because some people may have a question before they actually receive the two reports. I know these are crucial reports, which members may have a question which cannot wait. So, who is that? Darius?
Simon here.
Yes.
I would like to clarify what moving a motion to adopt means, because I know we've not yet opened up discussions and reactions. So what would it mean if someone moved a motion to adopt the two? What does it imply technically?
It is receiving the reports. Council is here. She can guide us. Or Ronald.
No, we receive first and then we react to them.
So
we receive, adopt, and then react, because we cannot react to what we do not have.
Thank you.
If that is the clarification, then I would like to move a motion that we adopt the report from the treasurer and also the independent auditor's report. Thank you.
That is
Simon is my name.
Okay, thank you, Simon Nam. Can I get someone online to second? Because he was proposing, cannot be the same person to adopt. Or someone here present. I see Darius, you have your hand up. Unmute.
Yes, thank you. I'm proposing we should receive the report rather than adopting. Because when you adopt something which you have agreed on. So I think members, we should only receive, not adopting. Thank you.
Council is guiding us that we cannot discuss something that we don't have. So by receiving and adopting, then it is open for discussion after. I think so. Members, fair investors here, can I see someone else receiving and then seconding? Okay.
Thank you, Emma. This is Linda Ocheng. I second the reception and adoption of the reports, both the treasurer's and the audit reports. Thank you.
I think now since we had Enam online and we have Linda here on the ground, we should move forward. So we have a platform right now to react towards the two reports. So Darius, do you have a reaction on the treasurer's
Yes,
report?
my reaction.
Yes, go on.
Yes, my reaction goes to the treasurer of the club. He gave us the figure of people who have paid around 2 million and plus. But I think since you are looking for 2 years, the treasurer would have focused on people who have paid for 2 years, that is 1,910,000 or 930. If we could get that figure, then I think should be better, because since you are looking at a counting period for 2 years. But if you put 2 million, that means you have gone into a third year.
Let me clarify on
Thank you.
this. Okay, we have one challenge, okay? Members, last year when we did our AGM, we had suggested that since it was on 4th of September, members said we start October on the increment of 90,000. Then we realized that we are going to have a discrepancy in the figures. So we advised members that let's step up so that we can start from July 2021. And also members, we are going to have the amendment as well, but it has come in, let's discuss it now. That members can go back and also top up the 30,000 of July, 30,000 of August, and 30,000 of September, isn't it? So that we all come to the same amount. It's our savings. It's not that somebody is telling you pay money, but so that we all leverage for each and every member. So you find that we have a discrepancy in between of those members who are 1,910,000, okay? Because there was a challenge on July, August, and September. But if members can pay up so that we can join up together, it would be good, because these are our savings, so that everyone moves at the same level. So that was the discrepancy of the two differences. Thank you.
I have my hands up if it cannot be seen.
Yes. That's Simon?
Yes.
Go ahead, Simon.
Thank you. Would like to go straight to my comments. I appreciate the presentation from the treasurer, and I think now maybe it is clear that the figures he has presented as at the end of June 2022, what was saved up by each member at 30th, on the 30th of June 2022. I think that helps us to reconcile. Now, I was looking at the Constitution and was trying to see where the treasurer, the position of the treasurer is, and I couldn't see it. So I would like really to be, guided on whether there is a position for a treasurer within our management structures established in the Constitution. But then on the basis of that, I'm also raising an observation that perhaps at some point we may need to have two structures, an oversight structure which does not do the day-to-day business but performs the role that are performed by, boards of directors, and then the technical team. I see that there is a potential fusion of roles of the technical team and an oversight team as the way we are operating at the moment. The question would be, for example, now, what is the role of the treasurer versus the role of our accountant, which position is in the Constitution? So if we created probably two structures, then we know the accountant is doing the day-to-day accountability, preparing and maintaining books of accounts, and the treasurer, together with other colleagues who are put at an oversight role, then provide oversight, seeing how the technical team perform their roles as defined in their job descriptions. My second point is about the minutes. After the minutes were read, we did justice in terms of confirming whether they were true recording of what transpired last year. I feel that we missed out on the second purpose of reviewing minutes, which is following up on action points. Yes.
Simon, we apologize on the minutes because the person who was taking minutes last time actually let us down. She failed to save, she did not even commit to say, I am standing down, but rather she muted. And because she muted, we tried our best to retrieve what actually occurred on that day. That's how we came up with the minutes. On behalf of the executive committee, I apologize for that omission. We actually discussed it, but it was beyond us. But we promise that the next time we have an AGM or any extraordinary meeting, all questions and answers will be captured. Thank you. And then on the issue of the Constitution, like I stated earlier, I am offering myself to ensure that the Constitution is streamlined. I will review everything, and then the same shall be posted on our WhatsApp groups so that we can all discuss and have the necessary comments before we actually present an amended Constitution to URSB for registration. So that will be rectified. And then the issue of the treasurer that you have raised, it's part of what we intend to present for amendment today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Like any other group of people, any group has challenges, isn't it? Okay? There are members who commit, I'm going to do this, and they don't do it. Okay? You find that somebody moves forward to say, I'm going to do this, you find they have not saved. What do? We take a decision over them, isn't it? Yeah, somebody tells you, I'm going to do this, they have not saved. And now, when you're in management and you're not saving, to us we take a decision. We tell you, since you're not saving, you're not leading by example. So we've had those issues, transformations, of where somebody commits and says, I'm going to do this, and they don't do it. We've had those internal challenges, guys, especially of people who are not committed to doing the work with us. Others don't want to do voluntary work. Unless you learn to do voluntary work, then things will not be the best. We are still voluntary. We don't pay off. The little money we pay, actually I would like to appreciate our accountant, Nina. It's a little money to pay a CPA person. But at least she decided to commit herself, I will do the accounts. The money you see that we are spending on her is little money. So sometimes people expect payment. At the moment we are not ready to start paying people who are doing this work. Let's commit ourselves. Because when you're working, you know that it's part of your thing. So at the end of the day, it will yield something at the end, you know. So thank you so much. Let's continue with the program. And very fast, so that we go through. If you see what is on display, that is our website, okay? We are transforming the website. Are you seeing, guys? We are transforming. Scroll down the website. Scroll down, Nina, scroll down the website for us. Scroll down, we are sharing the screen. So, that is our website. We are improving it. We had to let somebody on board. This is how the face is going to look. Very beautiful. Because we are trying to secure our website as we are going to put all reports. So we don't want hackers, we don't want to do anything. That's why we finance somebody who is going to be taking care of the security of the website. You see, it's one of the latest websites that we have transformed. That when you go onto it, you are able to register like as before, but most of all, for security purposes. Okay? I hope it's good, beautiful. You can comment on how best we can improve on it. So it's going to be by next weekend, the whole pages will be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Our time is fast spent, so I'll request people who have questions to write them down so that we can be able to react at the end. I'm going to call the presentation from Head of Investment, just briefly. If you have a question online, type it in the chat. Linda will write it down, and then we shall summarize it at the end of the day, because we are supposed to be out of this place at least by 2:30.
Thank you, Emma. Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, Ronald, Sebunya, heading investments. I think I will go down up to the section where we have investment objective. The other parameters are part of the structure for stress-free investment club. But as he gets the report up, I'll just give you a summary of what has been happening on your savings. That will be a benchmark for us to be able to invest your savings. Looking at when we started July 2020, and let me give a perspective of saving from January to December. In July 2020 to December 2020, we had saved over 115 million. That is, I think, a period of around 6 months. And then when you go to the year 2021, January to end of December 2021, we had saved 208,850,000. I'm looking at these figures based on what we are investing. And then this year, starting from January to August, we have saved so far 116 million minus the balance in the bank. So I'm looking at what is seated at the investments. So on average, I think I'll just continue with this just for perspective, but I also give you the figures based on our financial year reporting, starting July to June. Then we see where we are and the weaknesses we have in savings and where we should have been actually, so that we are flying and see whether we are moving, we are jumping, or we are running, or we are just standing, and then we see how we can pull that up. So you can go briefly up and just give you a brief on the investment objective and what we want to do. Just up, yes. So our objective as the investment committee, which is also being constituted, is part of the things that we are working on. I have a team of other 2 members who are actively involved. That is Gloria on online, and also Ron is been supporting on the other hand. So our objective is to invest at an average of 12% per annum, all the savings that you give us. But this involves us looking at the market and see which investments can give us an average of 12%. So UAP is giving us 10 point something to 11 point something. Doesn't give us the objective we are looking at. So we look at other ventures like bonds that give us 13.4% to try and bridge that gap. And we know that we are investing at 12%. Given the economy and what is happening, it's very hard to get a 12% investment in any security now, especially if it's short term. So we have to go for the long term to be able to bridge the gap. The UAP is a short term, but it's giving us not the margin we are looking at. So the overall goal is for us to raise $500,000 US. But we can't do it. It's not us who are doing this. It is you. So this is your goal for 5 years. That is around 1.7, 1.8 billions after 5 years. And I think we can do it even before the 5 years. So that is the objective that we've given ourselves, but we can do more than that. And then our plan is below. You can scroll down. So our investment plan is been broken down first, the 5 years, and then we are also projecting for the next 10 years and the next 15 years. We have an investment objective policy, which is 5-year plan, but we also have to review it after the 5 years and see if it still makes sense, or we need to make some adjustments somewhere. So for the first 5 years, our objective is to grow 100% capital. So this means we need to be able to invest everything we have, fully risk-free investment, 100%. without looking anywhere. Anything that lands in the bank every month, I want to appreciate Brian and the team that have been managing the account. Everything that lands has to go to UAP before the month ends, because that is our objective. For us is to make sure the account doesn't have money every time the month ends. Every money is sent for investment. So here we are looking at value and growth. And then 10 years we are looking at objective of trying to streamline, because after 5 years we need to do more things that we need to empower our members. We need to be able to make sure you also be able to benefit from the club. So we'll have some different projections together with other teams and see what can we do as a club, what can we be able to do for members who are exiting, can we be able to support them financially so that they don't exit, so that they can be able to restructure and be able to continue saving with us. So we are looking at growing 70% of capital, reserve 30% for us to be able to grow value and income. So this is where we are looking at giving interest on what? On members' what? Savings. So that's why we need to raise income for us to be able to also be able to return back to the savers that have been resilient. That's why we are saying you have to be resilient and you have to be honest. Because after 5 years, that's when we expect to give something back to the members who have been resilient with us. So the next third year is basically 40% in capital. This is where we're going to be aggressively engaged in different investment activities. So most of the capital, most of the money will be reserved for what? Investing. And we have to secure 40% at least in investments that we know the money is assured. At all time, the money is available. And we have a risk appetite that we'll also be measuring at that time. So it's a projection beyond 15 years for those that are resilient. So we need to start focusing you beyond today, and we have to look at what? At tomorrow. So we'll go straight to the investment portfolio just for us to go through. Risk management, of course, that we are doing. Last year we had, the last 2 years we had COVID. It was a risk. We went out of COVID. We thought people would be able to pick up. But we're seeing some bit of also decline in members' savings, where we thought members' savings will come in aggressively. So probably we'll put it on other factors to do with inflation. The cost of cash is also becoming high. You have to spend more because of the expenses in purchasing items within the country at the moment. So we still have that risk of inflation and different other factors within the economy that actually can still affect members to save. So this is where we'll also take a decision on members that can no longer keep up with the club and see what we can do with them. So other risks are basically, last year we had COVID, this time we have inflation and economic decline. So that's what we are looking at. But inflation also affects our investment. We were supposed to take a bond, a second bond. Actually, we were contemplating about taking the bond, but actually the market was still a little bit fragile. We said, let the money stay in the unit trust, because even the interest has slightly climbed the unit trust. So it gives us an average of around 88,000 shillings per day. So which is also a good investment. The more value we have there, the more interest we earn. So we are still relaxing. But also we took a step back because, like Brian said, we are going to national housing to try and lock in our partnership with them. So probably we are also contemplating, if we agree and sign up a partnership for this project, we could give them a down payment as an assurance that the club is able to do what? To meet its commitments to be part of the satellite city. The satellite city is going to be for big shots. So we also want to be part of the what? Of the big shots. And I think because of the capacity and your energy, we're already seen as a big shots, but we need more energy. Because when you go there to discuss proposals, we are saying we are contributing 200 million every year. We can do 400 million every year. So we need that commitment. As we commit to close deals, we need the members to also commit to do what? To save. Because we can't save 400 million when it's 50%. We need to be able to step up so that as we close the deals to make sure we achieve the dream, we also be able to be part of this arrangement. So we'll go straight to the portfolio summary. That was just a brief. So the unit trust, for us, we monitor on a daily basis. So as they are reporting the financials and accounts as 30th June, for me, I report as 25th August, a day back, where we are, because these investments are daily. So as at 25th August, the unit trust had 271 million in deposits, The next unit trust, which is the investment of the interest from the bond. You know, we've had 2 payments from the bond. It's 24 million that is consolidated interest that from the bond. It's another unit trust, which is we reinvested the interest. And then the total trust deposit is 295 million. That is what is seated in the unit trust. The 10-year bond is still at a value of 160 million, seated in BOU. So the breakdown is 62% to 30%. So we want to see how to balance so that we don't have at least 80% of our investments tied in one single venture, because the risk is high. If they exit, we have a problem of getting our money back. It's like a bank closing, and then you start struggling to get your deposits. So we'll try to see that we don't go beyond 80% in one investment. The maximum we can go is at least 80%, and try to balance whichever gives us more money. So the cash in the bank at that time was 13 million. Thanks, we just reserved that for operations. In case members are exiting, we have enough money to do what? To pay them without exiting any of our investments. So that is the breakdown of what is invested. The subtotal so far that you've saved is 469 million. Those are the deposits from when we started up to now, based on what, this is irrespective of the expenses the club has been having. So that is the total deposit. The total interest on that unit trust, you know, last time we reported it was around 11.7. That was, I think, last year. But this year it is at 30 million. So that means we've grown by around 19 million. It's not bad. It's a good one. So it is 30 that is interest earned. And then what we got from the bond and we put back to the interest. So we are earning interest on interest, has so far given us 1.5. So as in October, if we add another deposit coming from Bank of Uganda, we expect this also to grow, and then we scale up. So the premium expense is still outstanding, which we've already covered so far. That was the cost of the bond. So this also is a perspective for us to invest in the bond. If the cost is high, we rather first pull back and wait for everything in the market to stabilize, so that the cost is not so high and the interest that we earn can be realized in at least 2 installments or 3. So the total deposit, including all the interests earned, is 501 million. I think we can clap for ourselves. We have reached the $500 million mark. So I think the people online can also be able to clap in their own ways, but we are $500 million mark, and that is a very good trend for us too. Yes, and thank you. And I'll also show you that we are a little bit lower where we expect to be than what we are reporting at the moment. If you look at the Treasury's report and has 2% and 34%, the 63 and something percent needs to pull up so that we get to where we want to be. So the total value is 469 million minus the premium expense on the bond, which we've covered so far now. So whatever comes through is completely our money for us to enjoy. So that is the breakdown of the SFIC report. So the rest, I can also be able to tell you that on the UAP in the year 2020, those are not, I'll just tell you that's just for you to be able to see the people that are watching. Those are the breakdown and the visuals for you to get a clear picture of what I've been talking about. But UAP was in 2020 was giving us an average interest of 10.72%. Looking at the daily fluctuation, can be 11, can be 10.1, 10 point what, but averagely 10.72%. That is 2020. 2021, it gave us an average of 10.59. I think that was a period of recovery, so it kind of went down. At the moment, it's 10.76%, so it's slightly going back up. I think there's some bit of expectation. So also break down for you what we should have done. So based on the numbers of the number of members that are saving, if everyone had contributed, we would be making 356 millions every year. If you add on the booster, we would be saving 422 millions what? Every year. At the moment, we are making 244 millions every year. So we have a shortfall of 177 million from the members who are not what? Saving. So 177 million means that if we have an interest of around 50 millions, which means we should have been at 100 million if all this money was what? Coming through. So we are 50% below what we are expected to what? To earn. So for me, that is the highlight I needed to give you. It's not part of the report, but it's on the breakdown of the transactions that have been coming through. So we have more work to do with the members that are not what? Saving. So those are the suggestions that will come through from members, and then we'll see what decision we need to take and what timelines we need to give. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sebunya, our head of investments, for the wonderful report and showing us how the future will be. I know some people may have questions, just like I mentioned. Let's write them down so that when we are concluding, then we can, our administration can go through each and every question. Let's go through the amendments. Because your worship has an appointment and we don't want to miss to do anything without her presence. As our time is fast spent, let's try to summarize and then we can always continue the discussion online.
Thank you. Thank you, members. My apologies because I have to leave. I have an appointment that I'm going for, but I promise to keep online till the end. The unfortunate bit is I can only type, but I will not be able to contribute. Without wasting time, as the executive committee, we came up with resolutions that we need to put to the members for purposes of amending the constitution. And after we have all agreed to amend, this will be presented on the WhatsApp groups so that we can further the discussion and finally have our constitution amended. For today, the first proposal is to amend Article 9. And on Article 9, wanted to read, Clause A should be, the annual membership shall be Uganda shillings 50,000 payable by every member in the first month of the new financial year. In effect, it is to increase our annual membership fee from 30,000 to 50,000. This financial year, the new financial year that we started, I am sure not any of us from the report, not any of us has paid the new annual membership fee. So we propose to have it increased from 30,000 to 50,000 because this is the fee that is meant to run the club. Otherwise, we're stuck with the AGM, for example. Not so many people contributed to this. Even those that tried to contribute, the amount was not sufficient for us to have a reasonable AGM. So I believe if we increase the money from 30,000 to 50,000 and we all pay promptly, then the club expenses can be run without touching the interest and our savings. For this new financial year, 2022-2023, the moment we increase, they will have to top up so that we are uniform. I think it makes sense that way. Otherwise, it will be very unfortunate for the executive committee to come and report and say we are spending savings or interest. If we come here and report to the members that the expenses are off the savings and the interest, many of us will raise our voices as to why our savings are being spent. But I believe if we contribute the annual membership fee, then we would be able to run the club expenses. Then also on Article 9, Clause B, the executive committee be permitted to recover annual membership fee from each member's account directly from savings in case one fails to remit the same in the first month of the financial year. Members, what this means is, it's very unfortunate actually up to date to confirm that many people have not paid annual membership fee. It's very unfortunate. So if we amend the constitution, we can permit the executive committee to go to our savings on each member account for whoever will not have paid, and then the money is directly deducted from their savings. So until they top up, their savings will be less what will have been deducted. Then Article 9 still, Clause C would read, the registration fee for all new members joining the club shall be Uganda shillings 100,000 payable once. Members, we all paid 50,000 to join Stress-Free Investment Club. It's from that registration fee that we are still meeting the club expenses. So, I believe if we amend to say that the money be increased from 50,000 to 100 shillings, it will still support on the income to the club. And in case we have expenses, in case the annual membership subscription fee is not enough, then we would use the registration fee. And still this saves us from spending from our savings and the interest that we earn from the savings. I call upon all of us to agree to this. I don't know how we are going to vote, but the Constitution provides that for members who are present, they be able to vote, both physical and online. Members, with those first amendments, proposed amendments, can we vote to this? So that by the time we leave this AGM, we have resolved to amend our constitution and include what I have proposed, other than us vote later. Unless we all agree that maybe for this particular resolution, still we do what we did last year. Are we good to vote? Online members? But this time we shall not vote on the website, but rather on the WhatsApp groups. We shall communicate the time and the date, and we send out reminders together with all the proposals, and then when that day and time comes, we'll be able to vote.
Okay, great.
I think that's it. I thank you, members, for listening to me.
What we're going to do, we're going to take a picture and then we end. Reason being that these amendments, we are going to take another 2-3 hours, isn't it? Let's go. We are going to arrange a meeting online. We decide, should members fail to attend, the committee members, the administration will take decisions. That's what we have to do. Because when we call members, to participate, they refuse, isn't it? So we're going to take a decision depending on that meeting that will come on. Let's have a picture, then we go for our lunch.